What's up everyone, here I am gonna show you my silly little Rafa build. Enjoy! In the red tree we are gonna be using Peacebreaker cannons, and you are gonna put 5 in Sitar for more gun damage. Then you want 5 into Juerga, you get your action skill duration back with critical hits. And Instinto is the other option to do. You get more critical hits and it drains faster, but it feels really good. That's a lot of extra damage. It's a lot more stacks, and 8 seconds is a really good amount of time. You could use Bullet Buddy Deluxe, which is also another option, but I think Instinto is better. Bullet Buddy Deluxe gives you at least 8 seconds of infinite ammo, which I think is way too much. And I had 3 extra points, so I went into El Valiente, which gives you more damage the higher shield capacity or health that you have. So, more damage overall, which is really good. Now we can move over to Blue Tree, which is where most of my points are. Blue Tree has a lot more damage and a lot more options. Las Jarras is ammo regen, which is very helpful for certain guns that I will point out in a little bit. Ammo regen is really good on Rafa, and you get good damage with the ammo regen. You don't have to constantly go to the ammo machine. Now, for the thrill, you get more fire rate, which Rafa gets a lot of that. Fire rate is really good. The more you dump out, the more ammo and faster the enemies you can kill. You know, why wouldn't you want that? I didn't go down into the second row because I didn't really need to. Alessandro gives you gun handling and action skill handling, which is really good. You can use it for Apophis Lance if you want, but Rafa really needs that gun handling. And metal management is what gives me 2 seconds of not consuming ammo. So instead of using Bullet Buddy Deluxe, you can just use metal management to maintain a good infinite ammo if 8 seconds is too much for you, just like it is for me. Most of the builds that I've seen, everyone went down the right tree, but I did not. The only thing I got on right tree is Jack, which gives you more stacks, more damage, and overdrive bonuses is what gives Rafa the good amount of damage that he gets. And then I have 5 in El Soldado, which gives more gun damage, and but it can double out with Apophis Lance, so you can use Apophis Lance with this build if you want. I highly recommend it, but I'm more of a Peacebreaker cannons type of person. I put 5 in Conductivo, which gives Rafa more status effect chance, and he has more shock damage, which is really good, and you'll see why I chose that. Brain Dump is really good for crit chances. Although they are not real crits, I believe they still react to like Jacob's Ricochet. Awe is very helpful. There's a specific shield that works out very well for Rafa, and it's one of the most sought out shields that they have in the game. This is real crit damage, so you get that extra boost in damage, which Rafa really likes. Rafa likes to smack people in the face with his bullets. Now let's move on to the gear. Here I have a sticky ceramic bod with SMG. You don't need SMG on it, but it's highly recommended for that rapid fire ammo. I have a sniper bod as well, which is very helpful. I prefer sniper, but the SMG is really helpful. It also can drop from Axe Mall. This next gun is the Golden God. The Golden God is really good for mobbing, and you will see why in a minute. It is my favorite gun to mob with. It can drop from Soul. Next gun is the Bonnie and Clyde. I don't use it as much as I should, but I highly recommend it. It can drop from Directive O up in the Terminus District in the Dominion City. And then my next gun I use often is the AC May. The AC May can drop from RJ, I believe, up in the Upper Dominion area. For rep kits, I use the large or any triple bypass. This specific one has overshield on it because the shield I have isn't really the best one to give me overshield, but I do highly recommend it. If you don't have one for overshield, you can also get amp, which gives you 100% or 200% amp on your next shot. And for grenades, I use the waterfall. As you can see, I have a shock one and a elemental one, and you probably noticed I have different firmware on them, which I will get to that later. Next up is class mods. Here I have a +5 Devastating Dancer and one into Capstone. Those are very important for the dancers. That's where Rafa gets most of his damage, and you want that crit damage or normal gun damage, and it will always come with action skill cooldown rate. If not the dancer, I do recommend an overdriver, which you can get from Bloon Reaper Invincible Boss. Occasionally I will use overdriver. It gives me a lot more movement speed, and it's just really fun to use when I'm lazy and just want to run all over the place. And then next I have the Watts for Dinner for shields. Here I have Siphon on mine, and as you can see, it gives you overshield, which is what Rafa needs, and the Watts for Dinner gives you shock damage when you have overshield on. If you don't have Siphon, I do recommend Vagabond, or you can get Siphon and Vagabond because Rafa will be hella speedy and just keep doing shock damage and crit damage nonstop. It's really good, and that's why I have an overshield triple bypass in the case that I cannot pick up the overshield boosters on the floor, and if I'm not using the Siphon one. Here I have a legendary Daedalus enhancement with backup plan and accelerator. Accelerator gives me ammo regen into the gun I currently have equipped. Accelerator gives me 1% fire rate with 50 stacks of said fire rate, and it resets after reloading, but Rafa doesn't really ever need to reload, to be honest. Next up is firmware. I have 3 in Deadeye and 2 in Skillcraft. I don't really know why I have Skillcraft, to be honest, but you know what? It's more skill damage. There's nothing wrong with more damage, because fucking Rafa loves his skill damage and damage. He likes to shoot, okay? For specialization, I have Riddle You This. You get more gun damage, and it stacks up to 50 for 8 seconds. Next, I have One Shot, One Kill. It's a kill skill, and excess damage will be stored in your next gunshot. This is now with caffeine. You get reduced action skill cooldown rate when you use a rep kit, which is very helpful if you have a triple bypass. Next up is Bullet Train. Bullet Train, you can just keep running and shooting, and the faster you are, the more damage you do. So that works very well with Vagabond and the Dancer, because you can just speed on by. If you find yourself aiming down sights more than hip firing, I would get in the zone instead of Bullet Train. this video is getting way too long for my liking, so here's a compilation of me being stupid and just spraying and praying with my build. Enjoy!
Sure seem eager for someone about to die. Someone's gotta shut these murder bastards down. Right, hasta luego, friend. Fuck that one. Pica piñata. Another glorious performance. Order forces on the field. Someone tell me this already. Might get noisy. Order contact. Roll it down.
This is on UVH6 on normal mode with the SMG sticky bot. Here, I put it on true mode, which is equivalent to having 4 players in the lobby on UVH6. I am using the sniper sticky bot.
Tantos objetivos, tan poco tiempo.
I do apologize for the very long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed my build, and if you've tried it, let me know in the comment section below of what you think of it and if I should adjust anything. Goodbye.